Tashidelic, and welcome to the penultimate week of the NHL season.
Such a great word.
And welcome to Buzzed Pucks. I am Bert.
I am Clay.
And we are here to talk about some hockey.
And beer.
And beer. Some teams that are definitely phoning it in to end the season based on their records. And, one guy who I believe played his last game last night.
Yep.
Things are getting heated in that Western Conference playoff race too, but we will get to all of that.
You got teams phoning it in?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, maybe...
Montreal's just bad, so I can't,
I don't
know who's phoning it in and who's just bad.
Some of these teams are definitely just bad, but, I don't have the luxury of watching every single game, unfortunately. But, I don't know, some of these scores and the records this week are just like, oh, okay, you guys are just coasting into the end of the season. But, before we get to any of that, Clayton, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Sun Lab Breweries from Miami, Florida.
Miami.
And this one's called Welcome to the Dark Side.
Yeah.
It's a pastry stout with macadamia nuts, hazelnuts, maple syrup, vanilla, and lactose.
Yeah, this beer might be wild.
Sounds crazy.
Let's pop these
over my weekend.
Over your weekend.
Oh, that's a good sound. I had a friend. We shared Heavy Seas's 25th anniversary beer, which was I can't remember the type of ale, but it was also stored in bourbon barrels, I've
had beers like that before.
And then rye barrels after that.
Oh, interesting.
So it was a very, very complex
multi-layered
taste.
beer. Yeah. I think the most complex beer I've ever drank was at a just local craft brewery in Pittsburgh called Strange Roots. Shout out to Strange Roots.
Yeah.
And they had this beer, I believe it was called the Behemoth, and they were not allowed to give you that much because it was 25%.
Yeah, you've told me about this.
I think I told you. I don't think I mentioned it on the show, though, but it had the strangest, it went through 7 flavors in a second.
Yeah, this one
was so weird. It was delicious.
This one was weird too. I really enjoyed it, and it was, I believe, a 16%. This one's yummy.
Shoutouts to strong beers. All right, I bought our we had
super tasty.
We had a friend who had a birthday the other day, and you didn't go, loser.
Yep.
But I went, and I was like, hey, whatever you want next beer, just tell me. And he was like, oh, well, you pick out. I was like, oh, you're getting Dragon's Milk. Happy birthday. Yeah. Anyway, this beer's pretty tasty.
I'm a fan.
But let's get into hockey talk, shall we?
Week 28.
Week 28, yes.
I should get to the right list.
Well, I'll go first. You get to wherever you need to be.
I'm there. No.
I'm there, baby. So, a team that did not phone it in this week is Carolina. 4-0.
4-0 this week?
Beat Arizona. They beat Winnipeg. They beat New Jersey in overtime, and they beat the Islanders. 52-20-8.
Did they secure the division?
No, because the Rangers are right up their butts.
Not as much.
Not as much. I think they made separated. A little bit of space. Yeah, they're 4 points up on the Rangers, but the Rangers have a game in hand.
Okay. Because last time I remember they were tied.
Yeah, I think the Rangers lost a couple of games in there somewhere. But they were 2 for 9 on the power play, 10 for 12 on the penalty kill.
Not bad.
Surprisingly, they didn't have a ton of big-time scorers this week. Seth Jarvis is their top player this week with 3 goals and an assist, but they had scoring throughout their lineup.
I had a team that won 3 out of 4, and they didn't really get a top player.
Yeah, I have another team that has 2 players that scored more than 10 points this week.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But however, something to watch with the Hurricanes going into this last week, leading into the playoffs. Not Craig Anderson. Freddie Anderson is injured. And doesn't sound like it's serious, but he's being reevaluated in a week.
Okay.
And Antti Ranta, their other goalie, got injured in yesterday's game. Now,
I saw that.
I think I saw right before we started he might have been back at practice. Columbus.
Okay.
So maybe that's not as concerning. They've both played very well this year, but if you guys remember many weeks ago when we were talking about them signing these two guys, we agreed that they're good goalies, but they're injury prone. Now, for the most part, they have stayed undamaged as the season went on, but this would be a really bad time for there to be...
Oh, it'd be an awful time.
For injuries to both of your goalies. So, something to keep an eye on. Hopefully, they're both fine. You know, I never want anybody to be injured.
Right.
But, moving on to Columbus, they went 1-2 this week. 36-7
Ooh.
is their overall record. I hope they keep that win and regulation loss
really do.
the same, just because it'd be fun. They lost to San Jose. They lost to Ottawa. And then, weirdly, they beat Edmonton.
Yep.
Strange. They were 3 for 9 on the power play, 5 for 7 on the penalty kill. They actually had 2 top players, because Jack Roslovic had 4 goals, and Jacob Voracek had 4 assists.
Perfect.
Yeah. Moving on to New Jersey, 1-2-1 were the Devils this week. They did beat Vegas.
Yes, they
did. They
did.
lost to Buffalo, lost in overtime to Carolina, like I just mentioned, and then got shut out by Detroit. They are 27-44-8 overall.
Is that a good record?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay.
It's not.
44 was in the losses column.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
And technically they have 52 losses, if you really count those overtime losses. They were 1 for 10 on the power play, 7 for 7 on the penalty kill.
That's good. That's really good.
No top player for them this week. They didn't really have anybody that did anything impressive. I feel like this is one of the teams that's phoning it in. I mean, they've been eliminated for a while, and it's like the last week of the season. There's a lot of guys around the league that are technically day to day with injury, but they've said that they're just not going to play in the last week, which I get. Yeah. You know, bring up some younger guys. Exactly. Let them have some fun. Whatever.
Get some
especially in the East, like
top line.
In the East, it's just seeding at this point. All of the playoff spots are accounted for. Mm-hmm. So why make guys come back before their injuries are healed? Moving on to the Islanders. 0-3-1 this week. I was really impressed the last few weeks with the Islanders. Obviously they weren't going to make the playoffs, but they were having a good, strong end of the season.
Bad week.
And then they just really
had
a bad week. Lost in overtime to Florida.
Yep.
Got doubled up by the Rangers. Lost to Buffalo and lost to Carolina. 35-34-10 are the Islanders. Not a horrible record.
A valiant effort after.
What is that, 80 points? Valiant effort after the beginning of the season that they had. But, what are you going to do? They're getting older. They still have some good young guys, but we'll have to see.
We'll just see what next year brings.
I say this all the time, but I think I could see the Islanders being right back into it next year. But we'll see what the offseason brings. They were 3 for 9 on the power play, 9 for 13 on the penalty kill, and normally I would not give a winless team a top player.
3 for 9 is really good.
That is pretty good. Noah Dobson had a goal and 4 assists.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's one of the younger guys that's, looking good for the future. But, then they also have Zdeno Chara, who punched 3 players in 10 seconds.
5. It was 5 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5 seconds.
Let
me not take away anything
from Zdeno.
Against Carolina, which was nuts. But anyway, moving on to the other New York team, who's having a much better season. The Rangers went 2-1 this week.
Mm-hmm.
They shut out Winnipeg. Like I said, they beat the Islanders 6-3, and then lost to Boston to round out the week.
Yep.
51-22-6 are the Rangers. What a season they've had. They've definitely locked up at least home ice in the first round of the playoffs. Oh, yeah. They could still catch Carolina, but Carolina would have to lose at least one game in there for them to catch them. But it's still possible.
And I mean, they did good at the trade deadline.
Oh yes.
Copp has been.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
3 for 6 on the power play.
So, very good.
Yeah. 4 for 5 on the penalty kill.
Not bad.
Only took 5 penalties in 3 games.
That's really good.
Artemi Panarin is their top player this week with 6 assists, mostly because I was tired of giving it to Shesterkin. Philadelphia is up next. 1-2 this week. They lost to Toronto. Oh, I'm sorry. They were 2-1 this week.
Good for them.
My bad. I flipped some numbers around. They lost to Toronto, but then beat Montreal, and then beat Pittsburgh too.
Yep.
They were 1 for 9 on the power play, 7 for 8 on the penalty kill. 25, 43, and 11 are the Flyers for last place in the Metropolitan Division.
And that's worse than the Devils. So you're doing something
they're like,
wrong.
I think 1 point worse than the Devils. Yeah, not a good season for Philly. However, JVR, Travis Konechny, and some gentleman who I should have written his first name, but his last name is Cates, had 4 points each this week.
Good for them.
So, those guys. I keep forgetting that Travis Konechny is only 24.
Wait, what?
Yeah, right? He's been hounding our teams for
6
what seems
years.
like it forever.
Probably been like 6 years.
But yeah, he's only 24. Isn't that nuts?
Frustrating.
And then I saw somebody who had the gall online to be like, well, maybe they should trade Travis Konechny. I was like, you don't trade him. I mean, do it, because your team is my rival,
yeah.
but that would be a bad decision on your part. Anyway, moving on to Pittsburgh, who had a much stronger week, except for the last game, than they had the last few weeks, where they shut out Boston.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the pants off of Detroit.
Yes,
And
they did.
then they did lose to Philly in a pretty poo-poo effort by Pittsburgh. But they are 45, 24, and 11 overall this season. They were 1 for 4 on the power play, 5 for 7 on the penalty kill. They have 2 top players this week. Jake Gensel had 3 goals and 2 assists. And I gotta give Casey DeSmith a shout out because he was 2-0. He's taken the brunt of the start until Jari is back, but who knows when that's going to be. But he was 2-0 this week. He won both of the games this week. He lit up 2 goals against Detroit. That was it. So that's good for a 1.00 goals against average.
Good for him.
974 save percentage.
974 is real good.
And that shutout against Boston. I want you to try to guess how many shots Boston had.
Was it a 50 shot?
52 saves by DeSmith against Boston.
I did see that stat line.
Which is nuts. Now, I don't think I watched most of that game, but I believe I was packing at the same time, so I wasn't fully paying attention to it. Man, they outshot Pittsburgh by like 20 shots.
Yeah. But
DeSmith just denied every one of them. So good on him.
They were low danger shots too.
Well, that's kind of my point. Like they might have been like just like right into his chest or like from a bad angle, but technically they were shots. That happens sometimes and inflates the numbers.
No,
I know you're not. But very impressive shutout by DeSmith. Good confidence booster. Penguins will need that.
Something he needs going into the playoffs.
Penguins will need that going into the playoffs, especially if Jari's not ready for the first round against whoever they play. It's either going to be the Rangers or the Panthers at this point.
Yep.
Maybe outside chance Carolina, but
yeah, either the Rangers or the Panthers.
Or the Rangers or the Panthers. So
those are your two options.
Put on your big boy britches, Florida, DeSmith, because neither one of those are great options for you. Anyway, moving on to Washington, who is 2-0-2 this week.
Mm-hmm.
I believe right now they are sitting 1 point behind Pittsburgh.
Yep.
For third place in the Metro, which would take Washington out of a wild card spot. And Washington has a game in hand.
Yes.
On Pittsburgh as well. Anyway, they beat Colorado.
Yes, they did.
They lost to Vegas in overtime. They beat Arizona as one should.
Yep.
Shut out Arizona, I should say.
Well, that Arizona game, not gonna lie, very close. Their goalie was on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Arizona not mailing it in.
No, they were not.
And then I lost to Toronto in a shootout, correct?
In a shootout, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I have written that Washington won that game. I don't know. I was not paying attention apparently while I was writing. They were 1 for 10 on the power play, 6 for 7 on the penalty kill. Ovechkin is the top player this week. 3 goals and an assist. However, another thing to watch injury-wise was Ovi went into the boards weirdly in the game last night. Looked not like thankfully he didn't hit his head or anything, but he rammed right into his shoulder.
It looked like he either broke his collarbone or separated his shoulder.
I really hope it's neither one of those, and maybe he just jammed his shoulder.
He's just day to day
for now. But I think everybody's gonna be day to day leading into the playoffs. Yeah. So nobody tips their hand.
100%.
But yeah, so we got to keep an eye on Ovi. I have a feeling I doubt he plays this week. If I was Washington, I'd be like, you know what?
He's got his 50 goals.
We're in the playoffs. You got 50 goals. Doesn't matter. We'll just sit you for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And let you heal. But yeah, that'll be bad for Washington if they don't have Ovi. Big time trouble.
Yes, not good.
But that's it for the Metro.
All right. I'm going to stay in the East and talk about the Atlantic because things happened. Things definitely happened in some of these games. First up, top of the division is Florida.
Top of the East.
3-1 this week.
Nice.
And also, neither team wants the President's Trophy.
Yeah, I saw it. Oh, Florida's got the inside track on it, though.
Yeah, but it's President's Trophy is hot potato for a little bit.
I think we mentioned this before, but whoever wins the President's Trophy almost never wins the Stanley Cup, which is weird.
I mean, from what I saw,
sometimes it happens.
From what I saw, there was a 25% chance, which isn't bad.
I guess that's not that bad, but there was a while there where it was the Capitals or the San Jose Sharks that would win the President's Trophy, and they get bumped in the first or second round.
Yep.
And then everybody was like, ooh.
Right. President's Trophy don't mean nothing. Tampa.
What's that noise?
That was her moving something.
Oh, okay.
So 3-1 this week.
All right.
You've talked about the first game of the Islanders in overtime.
All right.
They stomped Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Leafs in overtime, and then they got stomped by Tampa.
Yeah, they really did.
That was a 4-8 loss.
Yikes.
They were 5 for 17 on the power play.
Oh my god, so many power plays. I have a team that had more power plays though.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
17's my top.
I think mine had 19.
That's crazy. Yeah. 9 for 11 on the penalty kill.
That's not that bad.
It's.
Did you say 5 for 17?
5 for 17.
That's right around 30%. That's pretty good.
So, they are 57, 16, and 6.
Hot damn.
Huberdeau.
Johnny Hoob.
You said
Hooby-dooby-doo.
that you were tired of Shesterkin. I mean...
I'm not tired of him. I was kind of in a rush to finish my notes.
I mean, I have a lot of the same players all the time.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the teams do.
7 assists.
It's a lot.
And Barkov and Giroux also had 6 points as well.
Yeah.
So...
That's a gross line.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Gross in how good it is.
Lomberg got suspended for a game.
I saw that.
For an instigator penalty last night.
Yep.
It is the first time they've called that penalty in 5 years, and Lomberg was the one suspended for it.
Well, I think it was more that it got called because they're trying to stop fighting in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. And,
right.
But they auto suspended him for it.
Yes.
Which, I don't know. Is that the first time that's happened this year?
This year, yeah.
The last 5 minutes of the game?
That is the first time they've done that in the past 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And Lomberg was the one suspended 5 years ago.
It's really funny, actually. Didn't he score the OT winner against Toronto?
I believe he did.
Yeah. I think I watched the end of that game.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And then their coach got fined
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that was a really weird interaction because you watch the replays. All he asked the ref is what'd he do, and then he's gone. That's it.
Oh, yeah, that's really stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That whole interaction was. Yeah, they tried to stop fighting in the last 5 minutes, but
it's just
they were both willing participants. It was Lomberg and Cizikas, and they squared up.
I hate cases.
They squared up.
Yeah.
It was
It's less that they squared up. It's more the 5-minute thing. Although I don't know why Cizikas didn't also get suspended.
Exactly.
But yeah, the whole stopping fighting in the last 5 minutes. It's so the game doesn't get prolonged for like a really long.
Oh
period
yeah,
of
100%.
time.
I realized I did my math wrong.
Uh-oh.
So they were 9. Give me a second. 9 for 14.
9 for 4. Oh, that's much worse.
Yes.
That's much worse.
It's like, wait a minute, that's not right. 9 for 14.
When I started doing the Jeopardy music, Cliff flipped me off.
But yeah, Florida's top of the division.
Yeah.
They're
top of the East.
They blocked that up.
East?
Yeah, they
blocked
it up.
Oh yeah, they did.
So going strong. Keeping on to
top of the league right now, actually.
Yes, they
by
are.
4 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toronto's up next.
Toronto.
2-1-1 this week.
Yeah. They're getting overshadowed by Florida, but Toronto's having a fantastic season. Yeah.
52-21-7 is their record.
Yeah.
They beat Philadelphia. They got stomped by Tampa.
Yeah.
Lost to Florida in overtime, and then beat Washington in a shootout, like Bert said. 2 for 14 on the power play, which is not good.
Oh, no, that's not very
good.
And
then 9 for 13 on the penalty kill, which is also not good.
Matthews came back this week, didn't
he? Yes, his first game was the Florida game, so the third game of the week. Mikheyev is their top player with 3 goals and 2 assists.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
That's a fairly
also, Bunting is questionable.
Miguel Bunting.
Yes. I believe it was an undisclosed injury.
There's a lot of undisclosed injuries I've noticed this last week, too.
He did take a skate to the leg.
Ooh, that's no good.
In the Tampa game. But he did play the next 2 games. So,
he might just have, like, a nasty cut.
Yeah, so... And that was...
I'm skates to your body parts are no joke.
Yeah, Kucherov. Keep it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looked deliberate.
God. It's like, that reminds me of, I will not defend Matt Cook in any way, but there was an incident with Erik Karlsson where Cook, looks like he stepped down on his Achilles, which I don't believe was intentional.
Cook pivoted, like he was just trying to skate.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to skate. He just accidentally stepped down onto Karlsson's Achilles tendon, which cut it.
Yep.
And then their general manager tried to open a criminal investigation.
Yes, he did. Yes, they did.
And it was just like, dude, come on.
I'll show you the incident afterwards, but Kucherov kicked out a little bit.
Interesting.
And it's at the knee level.
Come on, Kucherov.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So that's... Look that up on your own.
You hear that, folks?
Look it up.
Look it up. Do your own research.
It's one of those things where it might not have been intentional, but he still like...
Looks like it. Everything looks intentional.
Oh, it's slow. It really does, but it's one of those things where you should have better body control.
You should know that you have a sharp blade on your foot.
Or just at least have better body control as a professional athlete.
Yeah. You should, yeah.
That's more it. All right. Speaking of Kucherov, let's talk about Tampa. Because they went 3-1 this week. And they are 49-22 and 8. In their 4 games, they scored 26 goals.
Damn.
They lost to Detroit to start the week.
Oh. I'm sure they don't like that.
And then in response, they beat Toronto 8-1.
Yeah.
Nashville 6-2. And then Florida 8-4.
8-4, yeah. Somebody's got to put out that fire this week, or everybody in the playoffs is going to have a bad time against Tampa.
10 for 17 on the power play.
What?
10 for 17 on the power play.
Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
It's terrifying.
Oh, Jesus. It's over 50%.
Yes.
Like well over 50%.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And then 13 for 17 on the penalty kill.
That's not as good.
No.
That's not as good.
You want that penalty kill higher.
Yeah. Good Lord. Stop that. I don't want to see a three-peat. It's boring.
I don't want to see a three-peat at all.
Unless it's my team.
Stamkos. Steven Stamkos.
Stamkos.
Top player.
Mm-hmm.
4 goals, 9 assists.
Oh, he's the top scorer this week, yeah.
He's the top scorer this week with 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
He also became the Lightning's all-time top scorer.
Oh, yes, he did.
In a power play goal against Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Surpassing Martin St. Louis.
Mm.
I totally did not look up. It's like 700 something.
Yeah.
It's points-wise.
It's not as much as you would think because Tampa Bay is not that old of a franchise.
Right.
I think they're about as old as we are, like 30 years or so. I think they started in 92, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
And then Nikita Kucherov had 5 goals and 6 assists on top of that.
Christ.
Hedman had 8 points.
It's a pretty good week. I mean, they scored 26 goals in 3 games.
It was kind of ridiculous. All across the board offensively.
God. Jesus, 10% of the team on the power play. Oh, my God. Somebody stop them.
I had to do that math like 3 times. Just like, is that right?
Baby.
Oh, my God.
That's ridiculous.
All right, so we're going to move on to Boston, who had a very good week, just not to the same intensity that Tampa did.
Yeah.
They went 3-1 as well.
Oh, I know who that loss is to.
Yep. They got shut out by Pittsburgh.
They did.
But after beating St. Louis in overtime, then they beat the Rangers and then beat Montreal, as they should. They are 49, 25, and 5.
They beat 2 playoff teams in there,
yes,
and then just lost to another one, so no shame.
Well, some shame because 0 for 8 on the power play, and then 7 for 11 on the penalty kill.
Oh, yeah, those aren't good.
Not good job.
Aren't good.
Eric Howell had 2 goals and 2 assists. He's their top player.
All right. Spread the love.
Buffalo's up next, going 2-0.
2-0. 2-0. They only played 2 games.
They only played 2 games. Oh. They beat the Devils and they beat the Islanders.
All right. Beat 2 other Eastern Conference bottom feeders.
They are 31, 38, and 11. Victor Olofsson had 5 assists in those 2 games.
I like Victor Olofsson.
1 for 7 on the power play.
All right.
6 for 6 on the penalty kill. With 2 shorthanded goals on top of that.
All right. Hey, that's a pretty good week, Buffalo.
It's a very good penalty kill there.
Keep it up into next season, please. I would love to see Buffalo have a resurgence.
But, it's one of those things where, yeah, they're 5th in the division, but what team is going to falter from the East?
Boston.
Yeah, that's fair.
Boston and probably one of either Pittsburgh or Washington.
Maybe both. Who's to say?
Who knows? Both those teams are getting older. Unless any of those teams do something drastic in the offseason.
Which I don't see happening.
I don't really see. I mean, Pittsburgh is set to possibly lose Malkin, Letang, and Brian Rust this offseason. So that would actually free up quite a bit of money.
Interesting.
But I have a feeling that they're going to bring back at least 2 of those 3 guys.
Yeah.
Malkin has already said that he'll come back on a significant pay cut.
Yeah, team-friendly deal.
Sorry?
Shout out Ninja Sex Party.
Shout out Ninja Sex Party, my
ringtone.
My ringtone, yeah. I have my phone on silent.
Yeah, I saw you do that too.
Oh, I wonder if it's connected because it's connected to my computer. That's why I did that. Actually, I wonder if you guys could hear that or we just heard it through our headphones.
Who knows?
Either way, sorry about that.
All right, Detroit. 2-2. Still shout out Ninja Sex Party, which is Bert's ringtone.
I fucking love Ninja Sex Party.
All right.
they're so good.
All right, 2-2 this week.
2-2.
31, 39, and 10.
31, 39, 10.
Overall. Like I said, they beat Tampa and they lost to Florida. Like Bert said, they lost to Pittsburgh.
They
and
did.
Like Bert said, they shut out the Devils.
Yeah.
So
He got smoked and then shut out the Devils.
Yep.
This week, which is very funny, I think.
Tyler Bertuzzi. 2 goals and 2 assists.
Hey, alright.
Gotta give it to somebody.
The unvaxxed power of Tyler Bertuzzi.
Well, unlike Archibald, he
can actually play.
And didn't
just not in Canada.
Didn't get COVID again.
That's true.
Archibald's gotten COVID 3 times during this season. Who would have thought?
Who would have guessed?
1 for 9 on the power play.
It's not great.
6 for 10 on the penalty kill.
Oof. Oh, I actually during that Pittsburgh game, they're last in penalty killing.
Yeah, they are.
Excuse me.
The only time they did not give up a power play goal was against the Devils because they shut him out.
Yeah, they did.
Larkin is done for the season. He had core surgery.
Ugh.
So he's been playing hurt.
Anytime I hear that, that just sounds awful.
It could have been a hernia. It could have been like an oblique, something like that. He's been playing injured for a while. Yeah. That's why his production
is like so dumb because like once they were eliminated, I would have just been like, hey, go get surgery. It's fine. We're done anyway.
Yeah, I mean I agree because it's just also one of those things of like take care of yourself.
Yeah, so I would rather you be fine for next year than just putter around this season.
I mean, but also people are really bad at figuring out their own injuries. Like, yeah, this hurts. But
all of these teams have doctors.
I agree.
All of these teams are supposedly have world-class doctors.
I agree.
Except maybe, I don't know, Arizona. But
no, their doctors are excellent. Yeah, because they're in Arizona where a bunch of old people are. Arizona's doctors are excellent.
That's a fair point. I just remember that the entire Penguins medical staff got fired when it turned out that Crosby's thing, where he basically didn't play for 2 years, was not a concussion but an injury in his neck that nobody on the medical staff found. And then some other doctor found it because he went to go see some other sports doctor, and they were like, oh, it's actually your neck. And the thing that this injury does is it kind of like mimics concussion-like symptoms.
Right.
But like, oh, we just do this, and then they fixed it, and he's fine now.
Yeah.
And so they fired their entire medical staff.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fair.
They must have been so pissed.
We're moving on to another basement team. Again, not phoning it in. Ottawa, 3-1 this week.
Yeah, good for them. We're about to get to a few teams that are phoning it in.
Yeah, that's fair. They are 31, 41, and 7.
I think they might. The East might even become a bigger bloodbath next year.
I really know.
But I also don't know, because it could be the same 8 teams going to the playoffs next year too, and I wouldn't be that shocked either.
I think it could be more of a West Coast thing where everyone's close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think it'll be closer.
There's no runaway like Florida, but like maybe Florida, but still like.
Well, even in the West, I mean, Colorado's pretty well run away with the Western Conference as well.
Right, but like everything else will be just tighter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And that's.
Because there's
more stressful.
No parity in the Eastern Conference right now outside of those top 8 teams.
Right.
Sorry, I'm playing with my mic.
31, 41, 7. All right, they lost to Seattle. They beat Vancouver and Columbus in shootouts, and then beat Montreal outright. They were 0 for 9 on the power play.
Yikes.
13 for 16 on the penalty kill, which is fine.
That's fine, yeah. That's a lot of penalties, though.
Parker Kelly has 2 goals and 2 assists.
I have no idea who that is, but great.
He is the player. He's like a. Shoot, I can't think of what position he plays right now. This is a very good beer. He's got like alopecia.
This is a good beer. Oh.
Yeah, he's the guy with alopecia. So like you saw at one point a guy with like a crazy hairstyle.
Oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yes,
okay, yeah. Because I remember being like, "What's with this guy's hair? It makes more sense if he has alopecia."
Yes.
Which is not a laughing matter, according to Will Smith. I mean, it's not. You can't control it, but
who? Thinking back, who makes a G.I. Jane joke? It's a movie from the 90s.
Like barely anybody knows what that movie is.
Why are you making that joke?
Yeah, Chris Rock. Fuck you. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. So ridiculous.
Connor Brown is done for the season with an undisclosed injury.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're done, so
yeah,
like,
it's what it is.
They should just be like, our entire team is done for the season.
Yep, that's what it is.
Just like we forfeit our last 3 games.
Speaking of who's done for the season, Montreal.
0 and 4. That's unsurprising.
I think they're on like a 10-game lose streak now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Carey Price is back.
He played 3 of those games.
He can't. He can't score too. So like, I mean, I don't even know. I didn't watch those games. He might have played really bad too.
He played. Yeah, he let in 12 goals.
That might not be fully on.
Sorry, he let in 14 goals over 3 games.
Oh. Again, but like that could be the defense leaving him out to dry. But
they got shut out by Minnesota. Lost to Philadelphia.
They did.
Lost to Ottawa.
Oh.
Lost to Boston.
Oof.
Said all of those except the Minnesota.
Yeah.
2 for 12 on the power play.
Not horrible
for Montreal.
It's not 10 for 17, but
12 for 13 on the penalty kill.
Huh.
Good for them.
Oh, good. They're just losing at 5-on-5.
Yep. Yes, they are. So Byron has missed the last 3 games, and then Armia has missed the entire week. I don't know if I said this last week. I don't think I did. Jake Allen is done for the season with a groin injury.
I don't think you did.
So
that sucks. He missed so much time and came back. Was playing okay and then got hurt again.
Yeah. So Montembeault was back for the loss against Boston.
Nice. Sure, he was like, oh hell yeah.
And then Primo was the emergency goalie.
Oh, Caden Primo.
Yeah. It's a really good name.
Yeah. And I don't know.
It's a Primo name. Gotta go.
That's the end of the episode.
And this series.
No, I want to talk about the playoffs.
20, 49, and 11 for Montreal.
I believe last place in the league.
Yeah, very much so.
The only one
There's no way Arizona's below them.
Yeah, no, it's Montreal.
And I don't see Montreal.
Oh no, they're tied points wise.
I don't see Montreal winning 2 more games.
Yeah, Arizona has a game in hand on them.
So here we are.
Yeah, Montreal. Hey, fingers crossed for Shane Wright, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And I'm done.
For now. Let's go to the Western Conference. We'll start with the Central. And as always, when we start with the Central, we start with the Okay, that's enough. We start with the crappiest team in the Central, the Arizona Coyotes, who we just mentioned is tied for Montreal for last place in the entire league. However, they did
more wins.
They did get 1 point this week, but they went 0-3-1. 1 point. They got 1.
They win.
They got 1.
Yeah.
That's better than Montreal.
Yes.
They lost to Carolina. They lost to Chicago. They lost to Washington, and they lost to St. Louis in overtime.
All right, so 3 juggernaut playoff teams.
And Chicago.
And Washington. Sorry, a playoff team, but juggernaut.
Yeah, you're right. No, Chicago is better than Washington.
I mean,
they're not at all. Man, Arizona 22, 50, and 7.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted you to sit in your shame for a second.
I couldn't stop.
I dropped something on the floor.
It made more noise trying to pick it up.
We have 1 episode where we finally have a table again, and you're just dropping stuff off the table.
And I'll do it again.
0-4-7 on the power play was Arizona.
I mean, it's not good, but it's not, like, the worst thing.
13 for 14 on the power play.
Good for them.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think they have a top player?
No.
No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
They played great again for Washington.
Arizona. Yeah, well, can't polish a turd that much. Speaking of a turd, Chicago went 1-3 this week. They did beat Arizona, like I just said.
Yep.
And then lost to Calgary, lost to LA, and lost to San Jose. Ba-bam. All of those games they lost by 3 goals.
Yes.
1-4-12 on the power play, 8-4-10 on the penalty kill. They are.
It's not the worst penalty kill.
26, 42, and 11.
Good for them. It's what they deserve.
Yeah, after the stuff that came out earlier in the season, yeah.
And it didn't get better.
No.
Over the course of the season.
No.
Did you see that when what's his name was going to get arrested, they loaned Beach out to Sweden?
I did see that.
Yeah, that came out like 2 weeks ago.
Keep being super cool, Chicago.
Yeah, keep being cool.
Keep being cool, Blackhawks. That's really you really treat your players well.
Let's send the the person out to Europe.
Terrible. DeBrincat and Tays both had 4 points.
Good for them.
That's it for Chicago. Colorado had a shockingly bad week. 0-4.
Oh, they went 0-4.
0-4.
I know they lost 2. I didn't.
Lost to Washington. Lost to Seattle.
Yeah, I knew that.
Lost to Edmonton.
Oh yeah.
Lost to Winnipeg.
I didn't know about the Winnipeg one.
0-4. Bad time to have a bad week. Not that it's really going to hurt them in the standings, but you need momentum going into the playoffs. When you want
to go on a skid.
No, not at all. 55-18-6. So still a fantastic record.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But this is not the time to lose your momentum. So hopefully they get a win or two here in this last week, and they can go in.
They only have like 2 games left.
I think they have 3. I think them and Florida both have 3 games left.
Okay, so
to top off the league.
There's a few teams with 4 games left. There's a few teams with 2.
I know most of the league has either 2 or 3 games left. Yeah. Oh, there's that one game that got canceled because of a blizzard, and then are you sure there's any teams with 4 games left? I think it's all 2 and 3.
I think maybe I was looking earlier in the week, and that's why. Seattle, and that's because
that's that game that got canceled.
Yeah, that's 100%. You're right.
A couple weeks ago because of a blizzard.
What's Winnipeg at?
In Winnipeg. Where are you, Winnipeg?
Right there.
There you is. Yeah, they have 3 games left. So, other than Seattle, all the other teams have either 2 or 3 games left, and Seattle has 4 games left.
Yep.
Anyway, Colorado 0 for 10 on the power play, 7 for 8 on the penalty kill. I'm sorry, 0 for 12 on the power play.
That's not better.
Yeah, that's worse.
It's actually worse.
Yeah. They don't get a top player this week, so get your shit together, Colorado, because the playoffs are coming, and you need momentum.
Like 2 weeks away.
Another team that's messing up, and it might cost them, is the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
1-3 this week. Losing to Vancouver, losing to Edmonton, losing to Calgary, and then thankfully beating Seattle to end up the week.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas is just barely hanging on over top of Vegas right now by, I think, 2 points? I have the standings right here, so we'll just look quick.
It's more than 2.
3 points.
3 points.
My apologies, 3 points. But still, very tenuous right now. Both of those teams have 3 games left. One of them is against each other.
But then after that, Dallas plays Anaheim and Arizona. All they have to do is win 2.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All they have to do is beat Vegas on.
If they beat Vegas in regulation, that's the playoffs.
Yeah. If they beat Vegas in regulation on Tuesday, not only does that guarantee a spot for Dallas, it also guarantees a spot for Nashville, and knocks Vegas out of the playoffs.
And Vancouver. Vancouver's basically eliminated.
Oh, and LA too.
And yes, and LA.
Yeah.
Locks all
LA is, I believe, 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot, technically. But if Dallas beats Vegas, all of those teams get locked.
Yep.
That week.
That's it. So. In regulation.
In regulation. They have to win in regulation. Dallas, even though their record was bad, they did go 3 for 10 on the power play.
Good for them.
And 7 for 8 on the penalty kill.
Not bad.
They are 44, 30, and 5 overall. And they had 2 top players, which seemingly are the only 2 players who did anything this week, in Ruop Hintz, who had 5 goals and an assist.
You say Hintz?
What is it?
No.
What do you say? Yeah, I say Hintz.
Well, I couldn't understand what you said.
Hintz, yes. Ruop Hintz. I think it's Ruop.
I was going to say Hintz was my guess, and then who else is after?
Robertson, who had 2 goals and 3 assists as well. So those 2 guys had a great week.
Yes.
The record of the team wasn't very good, but that was mostly due to goaltending/defense that let up a ton of goals.
Mm-hmm.
So get your shit together, Dallas, for at least 1 game against Vegas tomorrow.
Beat Vegas.
Beat Vegas, and you're in, and everybody else is in, and there's 2 other teams cheering for you in that game too. So if you want to be buddy with Nashville and LA, you could beat Vegas in. You'll be
also buddy with the Ducks and Sharks because they hate it.
Did you just fart?
No, I didn't.
Oh, was it the chair?
Yeah.
So okay.
I would own a fart.
That's why I was laughing. I just heard a.
Nope.
Or it must have moved the chair. You must have moved the chair or something, because I heard some noise that sounded like a muffled fart.
It could have been my arm rubbing against this texture or my foot against the chair. I'll own a fart. Don't get me wrong.
Anyway, moving on to a team that has clinched a playoff spot but is in a bloody battle currently for seeding, the Minnesota Wild. 4-0 this week. Yes.
Their seeding is set.
No, it's not.
They're playing St. Louis.
Well, yeah, but the home ice advantage in that series is not set because they have the exact same amount of points.
Ooh. Didn't realize that.
Yes. Anyway, 4-0 this week, 51-21-7 overall.
Wait, what was that record?
51.
No, for the week.
4-0.
They went 4-0?
They did.
Ooh.
They shut out Montreal. They beat Vancouver. They beat Seattle, both of those by the exact same score, 6-3. And then they beat Nashville in overtime, where they came back to win that game.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Kevin Fiala.
He's been on fire.
I don't know what that boy's eating. He had 10 points last week. He had 11 this week. 4 goals and 7 assists.
The boy's eating his Wheaties.
Yeah. And, hey, Kirill Kaprizov doesn't want to be outdone. Had 2 goals and 8 assists this week for 10 points as well.
Wow.
They were 6-for-19 on the power play. 9 for 12 on the penalty kill. But a lot of that came in that Nashville game.
Yeah.
For both of those, actually. A lot of that came in that Nashville game. Speaking of Nashville, they went 1-1-1 this week. They're holding on to their playoff spot. And just like Dallas, kind of tenuous right now. Yep. It's a little close, but they'll be cheering for Dallas tomorrow, certainly. However, if they get 1 point in any of the games, regardless of that Dallas game, they clinch a playoff spot.
Yep. 95 is to clinch right now.
Yes. And unless you're LA, who has 96. Wait. 96 is technically to clinch.
Gotcha.
Right now. But I believe Nashville, if they won any of their last games, would clinch. So, anyway, they're 44-29-6 overall. They beat Calgary.
Yes, they did.
This week. They got stomped by Tampa Bay. And then they lost to Minnesota in overtime.
Gotcha.
As I mentioned.
Yep.
5 for 14 on the power play.
That's a lot of power play.
Yeah. 7 for 12 on the penalty kill.
5 for 14 is good, but that's a lot of penalties
plays to get. Yeah.
This week.
Yeah, there were a lot of power plays this week. Philip Forsberg is their top player this week. I don't know if you missed it. They were 7 for 12 on the penalty kill.
I did miss that. That's not bad. I mean, not bad, not good.
It's not good.
Not good at all.
Philip Forsberg is their top player. 2 goals, 3 assists this week. St. Louis, who is in that death match with Minnesota for standings leading up to their death match in the first round, went 3-1 this week.
3-1. All right.
Yes.
All right.
They did lose to Boston, but then they beat San Jose, they beat Arizona in overtime, and then they beat Anaheim as well.
Gotcha.
49-20-11 as their current record. 3 for 13 on the power play, 6 for 6 on the penalty kill. Pavel Buchnevich had 3 goals and 3 assists.
You said 3-0-1, right?
Yeah. 3-1. It was that Boston game in overtime?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry. 3-0-1 then. Vladdy Tarasenko had a goal and 5 assists as well.
He's so good this year.
Yeah, he's having a great season.
He's so good this year.
So, as it stands right now between Minnesota and St. Louis, both of them have 109 points. Although Minnesota has the inside track right now because they have a game in hand on St. Louis. 1 game in hand. So, St. Louis has 2 games left. Minnesota has 3.
It's coming down to the wire.
They're definitely going to play each other in the first round. That is set. But it's who's going to have home ice advantage. That is not set quite yet. Anyway, let's end the week end the Central with Winnipeg, who went to 1-2. They lost to the Rangers. They lost to Carolina, but then they beat Colorado. 0 for 5 on the power play. 7 for 9 on the penalty kill. 36, 32, and 11 overall.
7 for 9 is not great.
No.
How dare you only get 5 power plays?
Yeah, right. In 3 games. Yeah. It's because Minnesota and Nashville and St. Louis stole all of the power plays this week.
That's really what it is.
Winnipeg doesn't have a top player because they didn't really have anybody who had a standout week.
Yeah, it's fair.
So that's it for the Central, and that's it for Bert.
And I am going...
As my dog storms away upstairs.
We're not paying attention to her.
What a diva. She's such a diva.
She can't sit in our lap.
She's going to have a real hard week coming up. Because I I am moving, and I've taken her to the new place the last 2 days, change. And she was terrified.
Doesn't like change.
So hopefully she'll be okay by next episode, but she might not be.
She'll figure it out.
I'm hoping once we move all this stuff that has like her stink all over it, she'll feel better over there, but we'll see.
That stank.
I worry about my dog all the time. So.
Yeah, I know.
Shut up. She's all I have.
All right. So, starting off with Calgary, who clinched the Pacific this week.
Yes, they did.
They went 3-0-1 this week. Very good week for them.
What a tremendous season they had. I don't think anybody thought that they were going to have that good,
good of a season. Not at all. We've talked about 3 of these 4 games that they played. Beating Chicago, losing to Nashville in a shootout, beating Dallas, and they also beat Vancouver 6-3 like Minnesota did.
They did.
They were 3 for 12 on the power play.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
25%.
Is it?
Yes.
Math? All right, cool.
I'm better at math than you.
Sure.
Don't even pretend like I'm not. Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
12 for 14 on the penalty kill. That is good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. What percentage is that, nerd?
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to do that one.
Johnny Gaudreau, 3 goals.
Johnny Hockey.
3 assists this week.
Real
they
good.
are 49, 20, and 10.
Yeah, they're great. Go Flames.
That's really all I got to say. Edmonton second.
All right.
2-1 this week.
Okay.
They beat Dallas, beat Colorado, lost to Columbus. Mentioned all of this.
Yeah. It's so weird that they lost to Columbus.
I mean,
there was some teams that had strong weeks and then faltered in that last game, like Pittsburgh against Philly.
I will
Edmonton
say
against Columbus.
Koskinen was in net.
That would explain a lot.
With Mike Smith being on fire these past 2 weeks.
I worry about their goaltending in the playoffs, though.
It's gotten better, but also like with Koskinen in net, who knows what their defense was in front of him.
True. Yeah,
so
they might have been like, whatever.
I didn't get to check and watch this game.
Right.
So
somebody was at a wedding.
Who?
You at a wedding?
No.
No, you were just going to see. Oh, okay. You were just going to see friends. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Jenny would have gone with you if it was a wedding.
Yeah. They were 1 for 6 on the power play.
Okay.
And then
that's fine.
And then 11 for 12 on the penalty kill.
Pretty good.
McDavid, of course, top player.
Yep.
1 goal, 7 assists. Evander Kane was right there with 5 goals and an assist.
Yeah, he almost has 20 goals in I think less than half the season.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. He's fitting well there.
Very good week.
I would love to see if they try to re-sign him because he's going to want. Somebody's going to throw a shitload of money at him.
Of course, and he needs that with his gambling problem. So.
Yeah. Hopefully he has that under control.
Nurse, unfortunately, is day-to-day for the remainder of the season and then going forward to playoffs because they're going to the playoffs.
Probably not going to play this week.
I would see it.
Their seating's locked in. Aren't they locked in at number 2?
They're locked in at 2.
Actually,
no, they're not.
Well, they have a game in hand on LA, but they're only 2 points ahead of LA. That's actually much closer than I thought.
That is closer than I thought.
I thought they had like 102 points or something.
It's those overtime losses.
Yes, those loser points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only 3 more wins, but you have 4 less overtime losses.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. Well, they're almost certainly going to play LA in the first round.
Oh, guaranteed.
Whoops. There you go. But yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you know who you're going to play.
They've improved drastically since Woodcroft has been put in charge.
They're actually playing all 4 lines.
Well, also defensively has improved. Mike Smith has been on fire.
It's truly a wonder what just changing coaches can do for a team.
Really?
I mean, look at the Penguins. In 2016, they were doing horrible. They fired their coach, and then Mike Sullivan came in and I think threatened everybody's families or something, and then they started playing better.
Bruce Boudreau in Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Just getting rid of Kruger in Buffalo.
We're only saying that because I don't know the guy who's coaching Buffalo's name right now.
It begins with an N. I can't think of it.
Good old Nathan.
I can't think of it. So yeah, that's Edmonton. Moving on to Los Angeles, who looked like they were going to miss out on their playoff spot
they got
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. They solidified it now, though.
3-0 this week.
Yep, that'll do it.
Beating Anaheim, Chicago, and then Anaheim again.
Nice.
Doesn't matter who you beat as long as you beat them.
As long as you win.
2 for 9 on the power play. 7 for 10 on the penalty kill.
Hi. What's
they
up?
are 43, 27, and 8. That's not right.
Ruthie, thoughts on the holiday.
Good talk.
Okay.
Good talk.
Good job.
Can we go back to that again? Because 8 doesn't sound right.
My dog
we
jumps
just
up
looked
in
at
my
it as 10.
10. 43, 27, 10.
Yeah, 43, 27, and 10.
Okay. Do you need attention?
Kopitar and Kempe both had 1 goal and 3 assists. But also, Jonathan Quick played all 3 games.
Tony, stop. Did he?
All 3 games, 1 goal. 1.33 goals against.
It's pretty good.
And a 9.4 save percentage.
Don't climb up into my lap. Stop it.
We are on individual chairs.
We're on folding chairs, and my dog who is 50 pounds is trying to climb into my lap right now because she needs attention.
Yeah, that's all it is.
You'll get attention in a little bit.
All right, so that's LA. They got their playoff spot.
Well,
almost clinched.
Not technically clinched, but I
don't see.
Would be shocked if they did not clinch.
All they need is 1 point. They play Vancouver this week,
or honestly, they need Vegas to lose out on a point somewhere, and they're clinched.
And that's it.
So that's it. Like I said, Dallas, you could save everybody a lot of trouble.
Just end it.
Beat Vegas tomorrow night.
All right. Speaking of Vegas, 1-1 this week.
Un.
Unfortunately,
yeah, boy, this might be the historic time when the Vegas Golden Knights miss the playoffs for the first time
in 5 years.
5 years. Wow, historic, unprecedented. You guys remember when nobody would shut up about everything Vegas did that first season being historic?
Yes, I do. Unfortunate.
I mean, I get it. It was, but
it was.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Or use a thesaurus and look up a different word.
We've talked about 2 of these games in their loss against the Devils.
Yeah.
Their win in overtime against Washington.
Yeah.
They lost in a shootout against San Jose.
They did.
Who celebrated like they had made the playoffs.
I love when teams just celebrate ruining other teams' seasons by taking them out of the playoffs.
I was going to talk about this when we got to San Jose. Might as well get it now. Going into this game, Timo Meier did say, it's just like, we're here to ruin their chances of the playoffs.
Oh, good for you, San Jose. That's how you build rivalry, baby.
Well,
one of the ways.
Here's the thing. Over the course of this San Jose win, snapped an 11-game losing streak to Vegas.
Yeah.
To Vegas. But I only can think of San Jose owning Vegas in that rivalry because of that playoff series.
Oh, because of that playoff series, where San Jose beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they lost 11 straight games.
In regulation.
Yeah.
Or in the regular season.
Exactly. So, just to pull the win out
Whereas
here.
the regular season is regulation of the season.
So, Vegas has been better than them for a while now. But
for, almost the entire time that they've existed. But, I don't know. Maybe San Jose is that team that has Vegas's number. Well, because there's always that one team.
It's just when it matters.
When it matters. There's always that one team that you can't overcome when it matters. Until you do. For the longest time, for Washington, it was Pittsburgh.
For the longest time, it was the other teams in the Metro.
For the longest time, for the Penguins, it was the Rangers. Currently, it's the Islanders for the Penguins. And Washington, it's everyone else. Not everybody, but
just the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Penguins.
But for Toronto, it's Boston. For Florida, it's Tampa. So there's always that one team, and that's what builds rivalries. For a while, it was the Penguins and Flyers that always played in the playoffs, and it would the series would either be crazy close or hilariously one-sided. for each team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's always that one team, and maybe San Jose is that one team for Vegas when it matters. They got your number.
Yep.
In the heat of battle.
Don't let in 4 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Vegas was
Vegas
was up 4-2 in this, and
in this game?
Yeah, in this game,
baby.
And Timo Meier tied it with less than a second left.
Yes, he did.
So that's why they were celebrating like they just won a playoff game.
Wasn't it San Jose or was it Vegas? Who took the 5-minute questionable penalty in the playoffs and they gave up 4 goals?
Vegas.
That was Vegas, right?
Vegas took it,
and it was against San Jose, wasn't it?
That's what I mentioned. Yeah.
That's what Brews hate.
Because it was Pavelski who.
It was a questionable major. It should have been a penalty, maybe not a major.
I don't even think it should have been a penalty.
It was kind of a weird hit. I could be talked into it not even being a penalty.
He pushed him. His helmet moved a little bit, and and the blood was from his head hitting the ice.
Yeah.
His helmet strap wasn't on right.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
Don't let in 4 goals in 5 minutes.
You gotta deal with the hand that you're given. And if it's a bad call, it's a bad call, but you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's how you win. That's how you win championships. Is like you just roll with whatever crappy thing that happens, and you just make the best out of it. And the teams that win are the ones that just
make the best.
Yeah, they kill off that penalty. You know.
So Shea Theodore, I'm going to give their top player. 1 goal and 4 assists. That 1 goal was the overtime winner against Washington.
Stop clicking your pause. Stop. Leave your pause alone. Sorry.
Shea Theodore's 1 goal was the overtime winner against Washington.
Oh, that's a good one.
He embarrassed both Oshie and Eller to do it. It was impressive. They were 2 for 4 on the power play. That's not right. That's an 8.
2 for 8 on the power play.
Not even an 8. Okay. 2 for 7. 2 for 7. What
am I
doing?
Maybe you should type your notes.
It never formats correctly.
You gotta use Excel.
No, I had that whole thing. Remember? And then.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. But okay.
I started.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I do.
It just didn't format correctly.
I do remember that. I thought about doing that, and then I was like, I hate typing.
Yeah. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill.
He only took 3 penalties.
They only took 3 penalties.
That's crazy.
1 a game, and that's it.
That's nuts, actually.
Robin Leonard. Some more controversy with Vegas.
Yeah.
He's done for the season with
what the fuck they're doing there.
Knee injury. Had surgery on it.
Or did he?
His coach says he didn't. And then he's backing up the San Jose game.
I think maybe they should fire Peter DeBoer.
I think so too.
I think he's a problem.
Yeah, this is like...
I don't know what he's doing. Because there's a report, Leonard needs knee surgery, so he's done for the year, even if they make the playoffs. And then DeBoer's like, I don't know anything about that.
Right.
It's like, what are you talking about?
He keeps throwing his goalies under the bus.
Yeah.
And it's also
really strange.
Like he threw Leonard under the bus for the loss against the Devils. He started Leonard against Washington, and it was 1-1, and he pulled him after the first.
Yeah.
And then Thompson played in the entirety of the last game, and that knee surgery happened in between the Washington game and San Jose game. But what's going on there?
You keep doing shit like this, it's gonna chase Leonard out of Vegas.
Personally, I don't think Leonard's coming back.
You think he's done? Retired? Done?
No, I think he's forcing his way out of Vegas no matter what. Like,
it wouldn't shock me, but like Vegas could also be like, well, what if we fired DeBoer?
Well, like. And this is purely speculation. It might from me, because a lot of the things
they have to save money at some point too.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he doesn't make a lot, but that could get them under the cap. I think.
I think Leonard doesn't want to be there anymore.
I just don't.
I don't get it.
It doesn't seem like Vegas really treats their players that well.
Remember when
they treat them like assets? Which at the end of the day, it is a business technically. But, you could treat your players better.
Remember that whole Fleury incident?
That he was traded.
With that sword in the back thing?
Oh, yeah, that was DeBoer, too.
Yeah, from his...
that was his agent who did that. Fleury's agent who did that, but still, yeah. And then they didn't even tell Fleury he was being traded to Chicago. And now he's doing this with Leonard.
I don't know much about DeBoer because he's mainly coached in a conference that I haven't paid attention to because he was the Sharks coach
for a Sharks coach before that. I don't remember there being a lot of controversy while he was with the Sharks, but maybe it's just because I don't pay attention to the Sharks that much. But
I've been. I don't
know. He's been like weird when he got to Vegas.
On a lot of on the hockey subreddit, there's been a lot of DeBoer hate, even from like Sharks fans, stuff like that.
He didn't lead them anywhere. Well, and was he the coach? He was the coach when they went to the Cup Finals, but...
It's one of those things where I don't understand where it comes from.
They might know more than we do.
Exactly. Yeah. They probably do.
They probably know more than we do.
And I don't know what he was the head coach of before San Jose.
I don't know. So, sometimes I read that, like, oh, this coach was the head coach of X team. Before they were the head coach of this, I was like, I had no idea that they were the coach of that. Like,
from what I've read, he's only been a head coach.
Mike Sullivan was the head coach of Boston, and I believe also Vancouver for a hot minute.
He was the head.
He was definitely the head coach of Boston,
and it did not go well.
No, he did okay for a little bit, and then they were really bad, and then he got fired. And I can't remember if he was the head coach of Vancouver or he was just there in Vancouver.
Right.
Oh, I think he was there with Tortorella in Vancouver.
Gotcha.
That's what it was. But yeah, it's weird stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, Barry Trotz was the coach of Washington and Nashville before that, and then he was like the coach of someone else, like random.
Yeah.
I
keep forgetting Laviolette was the head coach of the Flyers.
He was the head coach of the Flyers. He was also the head coach of Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach of Nashville when he took them to the finals.
Well, he replaced Trotz as the head coach.
He did, yeah.
For Nashville.
And that's so weird. And then he replaced
Trotz.
He didn't replace. He replaced Reardon, who replaced Trotz. But it's just funny that he was there too.
Laviolette to the Islanders. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, next year when Trotz leaves from just not getting a contract for some reason again. Which I never understood in Washington.
I get it. It did not work out.
No. It's a Todd Reardon, I don't think, is head coach material. He seems like a good assistant coach.
Right. Well, at the time, we're getting on a tangent.
We are. We're close to the end.
So at the time, a lot of people in Washington thought Reardon was the head coach of the future because that Washington's job was his first head coaching job.
Yeah.
So Trotz had almost gotten fired in the midway point of that season. A lot of teams were sniffing around Reardon. So Washington was like, if we don't sign him, then we're going to lose him.
I guess I get it, but they had just won a Stanley Cup with Trotz.
They had made that decision before the playoffs.
I don't know. If it was me and they won a cup, I'd be like, everybody get back.
It's a bad choice.
Yeah, in hindsight.
In hindsight,
I thought it was a bad choice. I thought it was a bad choice at the time.
I didn't like it either.
And then Trotz went to the Islanders. He stayed in the conference, or he stayed in the division.
Killed it.
Yeah. That's like if and when the Browns cut Baker Mayfield, and then he just signs with the Steelers the next day.
I'm just gonna cry.
That'd be so funny.
It'd be hilarious, and I want it. It's good. It's good to hate the Browns again.
Yeah. Who's got rapist jokes now? Browns.
Pittsburgh's been storing them up.
Hey,
All right. Done with Vegas.
Oh my God, we're only on Vegas. I thought we were on San Jose.
No, we're done with Vegas. We've made a lot of.
We did talk about San Jose for a
talking
while.
points. Yeah. But yeah, with Leonard going on, I don't know what DeBoer's doing.
I don't know.
So
I feel like he might get fired in the offseason, especially if they don't.
I think he might.
If it seems like they're not going to make the playoffs this year, so.
And
it might be a way to appease Leonard,
I still don't know if he stays.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Because they made questionable
lineup choices,
player decisions before DeBoer even got there.
100%.
And they fired Gallant. I don't understand why they fired Gallant.
I don't understand.
Because he took them to the finals, and they were doing fine the next year, and then they were like, bye, Gallant. And now he's on the Rangers, who were doing great again. I don't get why Gallant gets fired.
I don't either. Vancouver, talking about them. They're probably going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a valiant effort. This week
was really made a push for it. Yeah.
This week was not it. Going 1-2-1.
Yeah, that pretty much took them out of it.
They beat Dallas to start the week.
They did.
It looked great. And then you lose in a shootout to Ottawa. That's okay. You can bounce
back. You still got that point.
Then you lose 3-6 to Minnesota, and then 3-6 to Calgary. They had a hard time to do it.
Yeah,
but
they're playing a bunch of playoff teams. Valiant effort, Vancouver, but use this momentum into next season. Play out your games, play them hard.
Yep.
You never know. You never know. There's still a chance.
It's outside, but there's still a chance.
It's a very low chance, but it's a chance.
All right, 1 for 9 on the power play.
Yeah, that's not
5
great.
for 7 on the penalty kill.
Also not great.
They've been without Horvat.
Oh right, yeah, that might have something to do with it.
But Pedersen had 5 goals and 1 assist. And then Besser had 2 goals and 4 assists.
Can't take it away from those guys. They're playing
it hard out.
And you know what? I will say,
Halak is out for the season with a hand injury.
Oh.
I mean, it could have been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's true. Yeah,
but
it could be 1 week.
It could be 1 week. 38, 30, and 11, which is such a turnaround from when Boudreaux took over.
Technically, they're under 500, but with overtime losses. But
they only had like 15 wins when Boudreaux took over.
I don't even think they had that many.
I don't either.
They had that many. So yeah,
they've only had 7.
Valiant effort, and you know what? I will say, I'm actually glad that they didn't sell at the trade deadline because there was talks about JT Miller going, Besser going.
They made a push,
and they were like, you know what? No, we're gonna stay. We're gonna try to push for the playoffs, and they got close. So you know what? If I was, I mean, I am a fan of Vancouver, but if I was a Canucks fan living in Vancouver, I would appreciate that.
Well, also they completely swapped over their front of house.
Yeah, they did.
So it is looking good in their off season.
Yeah,
so they can make
some moves,
competent decisions instead of just Jim.
Well, it's Jim Rutherford, but Jim Rutherford's like 50-50 on whether his decisions are fantastic or they're really bad.
Well, Bennings
was Benning was a good drafter, but his decisions in free agency and trades were very questionable.
Very questionable. All right, we're going to move on to Anaheim, who are 0-3 this week. Yeah. They are 30, 36, and 14. They lost to the Kings twice. They lost to St. Louis. Talked about all of those games. Gonna say a top player.
Hey.
Ryan Getzlaf.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He did have 2 assists.
He did.
He was tied.
He had a really great assist in that last game.
He is tied with like 5 other players for 2 points.
But you know what? Yeah, let's give it to Getzlaf.
So Getzlaf against St. Louis played his last NHL game after being in Anaheim for 17 years.
I will just say, super confused when I saw all the tweets about his last game, and I was like, was that Anaheim's last game? They still have 2 games, but they're 2 road games, and I guess he must have told them that he wants to end his career at home.
He did.
Which I respect.
That's it. Yeah. So,
but great career.
Great career.
One of the best Ducks ever.
A cup.
I would retire his number if I was the Ducks.
Oh, if I'm the Ducks, I retire his number.
I don't know that he makes the Hall of Fame, but
it's close. But it's questionable. But he's a Ducks Hall of Famer.
Certainly Teemu Selanne was there for a little bit, but full career Ducks player, Getzlaf is the best.
100%. So he gets his number retired.
What a great career he had. Number should be retired for the Ducks. And, I wouldn't be against him getting into the Hall of Fame, but, some people are furious about that, so I don't care.
The Ducks were 2 for 8 on the power play, and then 6 for 7 on the penalty kill.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
I will say that last assist against St. Louis was a beaut.
Dirty.
Yeah, it was a beaut. It was a behind-the-back pass to Henrique to score the goal. And it was a beautiful pass and a beautiful career for Ryan Getzlaf.
And he had wide open ice to shoot, and he chose to pass, which is Getzlaf.
Yep. Congrats, Getzlaf.
Yep. So, San Jose, we talked about
them a lot, yeah.
They were actually 3-1 this week.
Really?
Yes, they were.
Good for them.
32, 35, and 12 is their overall record. Like I said, a lot of these bottom teams, for me, not phoning it in.
No, yeah. I take it back. There's a few teams that were definitely phoning it.
Yes. Columbus, we talked about all these games. They beat Columbus, lost to St. Louis, beat Chicago, beat Vegas in a shootout. The guy who got the winning goal in the shootout has not scored an NHL goal yet.
That's hilarious.
Yes, because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Bavillier? Not Bavillier,
but it's something similar to that. It's like it's almost Boudreaux, but it's like Boulot or something like that. Yeah.
I see it in my head. I can't lock it down.
Because I saw it and I was like, what are they talking about, Bruce Boudreaux? And I looked at his name again. I was like, oh, it's not that. Yeah.
Exactly. They were 2 for 7 on the power play, and also 11 for 14 on the penalty kill.
Those aren't horrible.
They don't get a top player.
No, that's fine.
They're the one team that
they did well, but they didn't really. Nobody scored that much.
No one scored more than 2 points.
Depth.
But a lot of people had 2 points.
Depth.
Even Timo Meyer, like 2 points.
That's depth throughout the lineup. That's what you need.
Seattle is last up, 2-2 this week.
Hey.
Beating Ottawa and Colorado, but then
hey, that's an impressive win. They beat Colorado,
and then losing to Minnesota and Dallas.
Yeah. Can't really fault them.
No, not at all. 2 for 9 on the power play.
All right.
7 for 11 on the penalty kill.
Excuse me. That's bad.
That's bad. Vince Dunn and Jared McCann had 4 points. Dunn had 4 assists. McCann had 1 goal and 3 assists. They are 26, 46, and 6 on the season.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
For the penultimate week of the NHL season.
1 more week.
1 more week, and then the playoffs, baby. The season ends on May 1st, but there's only 1 game that day, and it's a makeup game between Winnipeg and Seattle for that blizzard a couple of weeks ago that was happening in Winnipeg.
There's only 1 game tonight.
That's true. There is only 1 game tonight.
Philadelphia and Chicago.
Yeah, it's another game that does not matter.
But watch the Dallas Vegas game.
That's going to be a big game on
Tuesday.
Yeah. My Tuesday is going to be hectic. So is yours because you're helping me.
Yeah,
move.
I know.
But maybe we'll be done by 8:30, and then I can watch that game.
Who's to say?
I hope we are. God. Tuesday tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm so stressed. I hate moving. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. You can follow us at BuzzBucks on Twitter and everywhere that podcast can be found. Give us a rate, give us a review, give us a subscribe.
Sunlab is yummy.
Sunlab is yummy. This is a good beer.
Yep.
I don't really taste all of the things that they say.
I don't taste all
the
things.
Like that macadamia.
But it does taste like it's a good dessert
beer. I taste the hazelnut and the vanilla.
I taste the syrup, too.
Maybe I taste the maple syrup. Don't taste those macadamia nuts, though.
I don't know what macadamia nuts actually taste like.
You never had white chocolate macadamia nut cookies?
Yeah, I have, but it doesn't mean I know what the macadamia
I guess they don't really have a strong taste, I suppose. Anyway, this is good. Get Sunlab.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week. Same puck time.
Same puck place.
Bye-bye.